mid-20s, and, and even their late 20s, they don't change. It doesn't matter. It could be in their early 40s. It could be my age, 39. It doesn't matter. They don't become a different thing. But they'll be in the car, and they always recognize everyone in a Hamptons. Like, a pickup truck will drive by with 3 people in it, and they don't even look at the thing. They know who the person is. They don't even look at it. And they'll just go, "That's Grover Wellington. I know him." They look straight ahead. They're so dead-eyed. It's like a Stephen King movie. They don't look at the person, but they just know. They can feel the vibration of another scion of nothingness drive by, and he'll be like, it's always like, that's Grover Wellington. I knew him. And they're all 80. These people, these kids in their early 20s and mid-20s, and they're all 100, and they're ageless. And they're like little stone gargoyles. They just perch on a building, and then they come alive every day. But he had the right reaction. I brought him to a few of these things, and he got in the car, and he goes, "The country's a circus. Because we're really deeply fucked." And I said, "Yeah." And he had the right reaction to it. But what was good is that, what's good about those kids is they don't then follow it up with some emotional, they just get, this is what it is, and I'm still going to thrive in the ruins, which is what people have to do out there. And everyone's having this awakening that, like, oh, and we've been lied to on a level we can't even imagine. Every day, all the time. About everything. If they can trot out this guy, and then the AP can write an article, which I loved, which was, "Biden is sharp and smart, but occasionally confused." Like, if they can still, after that debate performance, still try to lie. They had this great article. And I put it on my Instagram, actually. It's so unreal that most of the press, Associated Press, Biden at 81. Sharp and focused, but sometimes confused and forget. There it is. So now you are realizing the lying is just out of control. And you listen, you can intellectually know that the hook to a girl does not possess talent. Here's why that doesn't matter, and here's why you shouldn't be surprised by it. She wants to pursue a career in comedy. People come up to me and go, "Can you believe she wants to pursue a comedy career?" Of course, yes! And let her. Open for her. I know people that are more than beyond fucked in this. They're going, "Can you believe the hawk tour? You better get on her tour now." Of course, she shouldn't. No attention should be paid to her, but there inevitably will be. So what good? You can't be that guy at the party all the time. It's like, "Can you believe this? Can you believe?" Yes, we all can. What did you expect? What country are you living in? What entertainment business do you think you're a part of? Have you met anyone in the entertainment business? Have you spoken to any of them? Do you have even a casual understanding of their beliefs? Do they? Of course. I want her on the show. I want to email someone. Get her. Get this bitch. I'm telling you right now, I'm sick of missing out on these people. If she's going to be hot for 30 days, get her. I always wait too long, and then they throw these people in the street. I'm not going to talk about the story, but I will eventually. This young kid who, before the pandemic, got killed in London. He was pretending to be a Russian oligarch's son, and they threw him off a building into the Thames River. It was this great story, and I felt so bad for him because he just wanted to be this rich Russian oligarch's son, and then he got, involved with these shady people in London, and they threw him. Zach Bretler, 19, died after jumping to his death. Now, here's the thing. He did jump, but the circumstances around his death are very shady. All these people, there was a show called Ladies of London on Bravo. One of the guys, Scott Young, was a real estate developer who was featured on the show. He also jumped and got impaled outside of the building in London. A lot of Scott Young's fans, also real estate developers who've gotten involved with the Russian gangsters, jump out of buildings and end up impaled. There's a lot of suicide and depression amongst real estate developers who get into shady deals with members of the Russian underworld in London. And because London is so dependent on the Russian oligarch largesse, and Russians are very good at what they do, in terms of getting rid of people, none of these cases are ever prosecuted. None of them ever rise to the court system. They'll be written about in the press. And this is just a 19-year-old kid who, right before the pandemic, again, ended up in the Thames River pretending to be a Russian oligarch. There's such a seedy, shady underworld in London. It's so sexy and cool. And there's something about it that I've always, I just always really loved that city. And I love it even more. And like, this guy just pretending to be a Russian oligarch's son and he was kind of in shape. And like, this is the life I should have had. Truly. The life I should have had is like this kid who was just thrown into the Thames River at 19. I feel bad for his parents, but I was reading that last night. We were in a little traffic. I was heading back to New York City. I was in a little traffic on the way, and I was reading this story. And people had sent me this a bunch. I'd read it. I think I'd read it before. I might have even spoken about it. But he spent his final evening with a gangster and a crypto investor. Oh my God! You get better than that. Can you believe? Can you imagine if I was one of those guys? Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Can you believe it? If I went into the river, can you believe it? Imagine being that guy walking around London, being like, can you believe how expensive it is here? No one seems British. What? The learning curve is so, and you're gonna have to be patient with your family and friends because the learning curve is they're so behind. Now, listen, if Trump wins, some members of my family are gonna have to go to jail. They are, and I don't love that. But let me tell you one thing. Can I say one thing? Can I speak freely? I've seen people turn their lives around in prison. I've seen people get in shape, find Islam. Members of my family who long believe that when Trump wins, he's going to put them in jail. Maybe they will go to jail. But I've seen people, the personal growth I've seen people make in prison is unreal. It's unreal. And I believe that my family maybe they happened to be incarcerated for witnesses. I believe come out of this better. To be honest, I do. I believe they come out of it better. I can't imagine they put Kamala in this, but I don't think they have a choice. They will get around. I was talking to a few people. This is all inside info this whole hour. Insider info that everyone knows, by the way. Insider info that everyone can kind of surmise. But I've talked to people who are kind of big DNC people who go, we can get around, because I believe that if it wasn't Biden and Kamala, they had to get back all the money. That's what people were saying. However, some DNC people were like, hey, we can get around that. We'll just put a bunch of lawyers in a room, and whoever we decide to run, we can give them all the donate, because everybody donated to the Biden-Harris campaign. All these sweaty whales in the Hamptons, these pink shirt, sweaty, whoever, private equity hedge fund people, also probably donated to Trump. They're like stacking the deck. But the reality is all these people donated to something called the Biden-Harris campaign, which doesn't exist. One of them is senile, and the other one is a gypsy curses, as I talked about a long time ago. So there is no Biden-Harris campaign at this point. There's just an old guy being led around, and everyone, everywhere goes, get out of the race. So they've raised $127 million in June, including $38 million after unsteady debate. They're raising a lot of money. Now, by the way, do you realize how rich you have to be to donate to that guy after that debate? Do you know how rich you have to be to donate money to that guy after that debate? The Vegas odds on that guy are plummeting. Well, I'll tell you this. They're going to find a way to reallocate all of that money to whoever they run. And it might be Gavin Newsom, which will be a big disaster. And it might be Gretchen Whitmer, the governor of Michigan, who faked her kidnapping.